What's up, everybody? I'm coming back with you on another video, and today's topic has to do about misconceptions of autism. And there are many, of course, but I feel like I need to talk about the biggest misconceptions, also known as misconstrued. So the first one we got is number one: autism is purely a social disorder. It is not. There's many other things that we deal with. So for me, one thing with the autism that I have, I do a lot of stimming. So I'm a drummer at a rock show, like hyping up the crowd. There's also sleeping issues that happen, and because of that, it may look like we're not social, but that's just not the case. Number two, we don't feel emotions or empathy. That one really bugs me a lot, and we have, or in some cases, we have this thing called Alexithymia, which means we have a tough time showing emotions. And that's the case on some parts, but trust me, I get very emotional at times, and especially with when I'm with family. And I remember when I lost a family member that I was pretty close with, my emotions just went downhill. And it was almost like a piece of me that left and I'm not able to get back. I mean, just thinking about it is a little difficult, but I just thought bringing that up was important. Number three, ASD or autism spectrum disorder is something that you grew out of. That is not true. And as we grow older, we may improve on some things, but there's still stuff that we would be able or won't be able to get through, like communication, speaking, and other things. And autism is curable. It's not. People think that family counseling and other things can help, but the issue with that is, as they grow older, they do tend to deal with or develop PTSD as they grow older. And honestly, it's not fun seeing. I've seen people that when I tell them what I do, their PTSD hits, and it's tough. And so yes, autism is not curable. Another misconception is certain diets are effective at curing autism. That is another false thing. It is unproven to lessen the symptoms. It's hard for me to explain. There is times where I try to explain things, but I have a tough time. So people with ASD are mentally disabled. It's very frustrating when people tell me that. And most genes associated with autism are present with intellectual disabilities. As a result, both seem to be similar, but they're not. I mean, they may be diagnosed how do I put this? Both are mistaken for one another. Number 7, ASD only affects boys. Not true. There's also girls that are affected with autism spectrum, but it is lesser known, and it is less common, and nobody knows why. This one's a good one. There is one size fits all diagnosis. That is not the case. Now, when you see one person with autism, that's only one person. When you meet somebody else with autism, they're totally different. No two people are the same. All right. And grown up, I was a little confused about that because I was like, it was confusing. But with the job that I have today, seeing different people, it's definitely opened my eyes and finally confirmed, like, whoa, this is like, I never thought that autism would be so wide ranged. And another thing is that gender disparity is true of other neurodevelopmental disorders, including ADHD. So that means some of us, along with autism, have ADHD and have a tough time focusing. Number 9, people with ASD also have savant syndrome. Now, that only appears in about 10 to 30%, and what savant syndrome is very intelligent. And people thought, and I really am a little uncomfortable talking about this one, but I remember when I was in math class, and I don't know how some of the students knew that I was on the spectrum. I wonder if they probably heard it from like the teacher or whatever, but the biggest thing that they said, you're autistic. You should definitely be smart at math. Like, you could definitely help us, right? And that was really, really difficult, and it upset me. I mean, I'm still not even, like, to this day, my math is terrible, and at times I'm not good at speaking. Just like the other day, what happened, where I stuttered too much and I couldn't get the right words out. Number 10, doctors know exactly what causes autism. There is no definitive cause. I mean, some think that environmental risk factors cause it, like, pollution in the air or whatever, but that's not true. What we do know is that genetics really plays a big factor in it. And number 11, vaccines cause autism. That narrative started in '98 to a claim that linked the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine to autism, but over 20 studies were done, and over the course of those studies, there is no data found that supported that claim. It is baseless, really. And this next one, sorry, I'm having a really tough time with these ones because it's kind of like a little uncomfortable talking about, because I don't know how people are going to react. So I'm just, as I finish this last one, I know that I will get better. I mean, I know it was a video that I could have done better talking with, but here we go. The last biggest misconception is people with autism are generally nonverbal. Approximately 40% of people with autism don't speak, and then 30% have limited abilities and have a tough time manding words. But some are able to improve their verbal skills and become fluent speakers. And I'll give you an example. In the book that I wrote, Chatterbox, My Life with Autism, I didn't speak a single word until I was 3 or 4. And at first, when I was told that, I was a little confused about it. And I think going through speech and language pathology really helped. And back then, speaking was really tough for me, like I said, and now here I am today, speaking really well. And I never thought that it was possible. And as I end this video, I just wanted to say, I know, parents, I know how tough it is. And I say that because there's been times where parents come up to me and say, it's tough because we are not able to communicate with how we would like. And as a result, that's why you see most of us, like stimming or whatever, when we get upset. And, and on occasion, like if somebody were to throw like an object, it's not that they're upset. That's just another way to communicate. And I know it's not easy, but it's tough, all right? Yes, I get it, but I know you can get through. You could get through and help your kid because you are their superhero. And I know it's hard for us to describe it. And what I mean by that, by superhero, is you are there for them. And they look up to you as someone that they trust to help them live the best life that they can. And you need to dig deep to fight for your kid, even though it looks difficult. But at the end of the day, I think that it will be better. I really do believe that there is a future, a not so distant future, where we will finally be accepted. And that's one of the main reasons why I did this video, because yes, it's eye-opening, but I feel if I talk about it from my side, like the autism person's side, then I think it would show more or more supportive and more awareness. And it's boy, this is tough. I will tell you this: we just want to be accepted. And I know people will be accepting. I know that, but it's just tough every day going through a day reading the news, like, teacher drags autistic kid out of classroom because he was too disruptive. And another one where families usually give up, but just don't give up. And I know that you can get through this. And the parents are stronger than you realize. So once again, I wanted to thank you for tuning in. I know it wasn't easy for me to discuss this because, a lot of people will believe misconceptions, but I thank you for your time, and I really hope that you find this helpful.